All right, so let's start with the introduction. Can I get your name, age, pronoun, sexuality?
Hi, I am PupDavey. I'm 25 years old. I'm from Belgium. My pronouns are he, him, she, her. It really depends on the day and on my mood.
All right, Davey, how old were you when you realized who you were and what made you realize it?
If by who I am you mean my sexuality, then I guess I was 15 when I actually knew for sure that I was bisexual, and it was because I fell in love with this guy in school. He was a year older than me, so he was like not in my class. But I don't know. Suddenly it just hit me, and I had a huge crush on him. So I wasn't in denial about it. I totally accepted it from the beginning. I was like, okay, I guess I'm bisexual now. It's been confirmed. Because I had a history with the pornography that I watched, like sometimes being straight, sometimes, being gay. But I thought that was just like, oh, horny me, But it wasn't until I actually fell in love that I was like, okay, this is serious. It's not just some fantasy. I am bisexual.
So, who was the first person you came out to, and why exactly did you choose that person?
I think the first person that I told, I'm not exactly sure. I think it must have been my mom. It was probably my mom. Cause my mom was bisexual too. Um, I don't know. There was no shame about that in our house. I just told her as the first because I was just so excited, I was so happy and filled with dopamine the whole time because, every fucking day I was with this nice guy at school and I'm the type of person, if I get excited about something, I have to talk about it. So I had to spill the beans to my mom.
All right, so this one's like my favorite question I like to ask. Um, so you can answer it like however you want. It can be as long as you want, whatever. And don't keep out the details. But how would you explain uh you coming out to your friends and family? Like, did they accept you? Did it take a while? Just how would you explain your coming out story?
I grew up. Hmm, okay. Um, I have I have autism, and part of that meant that I had a weird understanding of social cues and social interactions. And because of that, I would always speak without a filter. Um, and that would go really far. Like I literally had no filter. I would say stuff that other people would thought was inappropriate or rude. I would just say whatever was on my mind. I would insult people, but I never meant it in like a mean way. But I would just say anything that's on my mind. Because my parents always taught me, oh, you can just tell us everything. So I literally did that. Um, Coming out for me, it was um, really just me spilling the beans. Like it was not so much of an active decision or something that I had to think about. Like, oh, I'm scared to tell people. I was never scared to tell anybody anything. I would just say shit. Like my mom and my close friends, and I think my sister too, like telling them just came out natural because I spend a lot of time with them. It was just a matter of literally days before I just couldn't hold it back. Um, telling my dad though, like my parents were divorced for a long time, and my dad had a lot of children with another woman, and they're all much older than me. I'm the youngest, and like my other brothers and sisters, we're like 10 to 17 years apart. Um, but he has six children, my dad, and five of them are not straight. So I was the last person who was going to come out. And it like I remember me, my dad, my brother, I think another family member was there too, like my older brother. We were all just sitting in the living room at my dad's place. I didn't spend much time at my dad's, so that's probably why he didn't know yet. But we were all just sitting there, and then my gay brother, he made like this joke. Ah, oh, Dad, you have four gay children. Ah, yeah, it must be something in your genes. And then I was like, four? You mean five? And then they were like, ah, you too? I was like, didn't you guys already know? No. Oh, so for me, like in their eyes, my coming out was just a casual, whoops. I guess I forgot to tell you. But it was really comfortable for me. Coming out for me was not a struggle at all. I did like after coming out, I did get to endure a lot of like homophobic jokes, but like people mean it mostly in a nice way. But it was like especially in my friend groups and at school, even still today, actually, like having to put up with constant homophobic slurs and rhetoric. Um, yeah, that did hurt. It was not easy, but I never hid my bisexuality for anybody. I was never good at hiding anything anyway.
Davey, what would you say was the most challenging part about coming out? Like, was it all just a breeze, or did you at least face anything before or after deciding to?
So coming out as bisexual for me, that was just a breeze. It was easy. Didn't even have to think about it. Um, but I can tell you that right now, I am struggling with my gender identity. I have been since I was 15, but back then, yeah, I don't know. I would like I remember trying to cross dress and my mom not putting up with it, and she would like as even though my mom was bisexual herself, like she was like really transphobic. So she just forced me to not engage with it. So I just kind of left it behind for a while, and it's now that I like want to explore it more, and um, now I am kind of struggling with it because I have to now like especially like I started hormone replacement therapy half a year ago, and it's only going to be a matter of time before the effects of that are going to become more and more visible and difficult to hide. And I am really scared for how my mother, especially my mother, is going to react to this. My other family members as well. Like we are no longer on as good of a relationship as we used to have. Because some stuff happened in between. Because like they all freaked out after they discovered that I did porn for a career. Like the taboo was huge. I put so much shame on the family. And ever since then, I've been more like a lot more afraid of them. So coming out with this new information that is even slightly controversial, I am really scared to disappoint them or to be discredited by them or like even just to have to explain myself to them. Like it's terrifying. Like the idea of this is terrifying to me. Um, so yeah, there's still some coming out to do. That's it.
All right, so I'm gonna go into a little bit deeper of what you said. So you said that you're taking hormone pills, right? Um, so and you're struggling with your gender identity. So would you say that you are trans or no?
While I do think I fall under the umbrella of trans, especially because of the physical transitioning that I'm like partly doing. I don't like to give myself the label of trans because I don't feel like it fits me. I'm just me. I'm just me. And I think my gender is really fluid. So depending on the mood, depending on the scene, depending on what I decide to wear that day, I can really feel a lot more masculine or a lot more feminine. Um, so I don't like to say I'm transgender because that sounds really binary, like either or, but it's not really either or. I like to switch sides. I'm really comfortable switching sides.
So what you're saying is you just don't like an anchor on your like gender.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. How would you say that your life has exactly changed since coming out?
I okay. I I definitely don't regret coming out. I am very comfortable with not having any secrets. I really like when everything is just out in the open and there's nothing I have to hide. But I remember when I came out, suddenly a lot of my friends were less comfortable around me, especially during sleepovers. Suddenly things were different, you know? They were like, I don't know, but it was just like this generic teenage homophobia that they all have. It was really, it did hurt my feelings. But I wouldn't say that it heavily impacted me. I was pretty good at, I don't know, processing it. It didn't, I wouldn't say that that I suffered because of it. Um, it actually, I think a different example that is more similar to to like other people's coming out stories is like when my family discovered that I did porn for a living. They like my family, but also a lot of friends. Um, they were just like, nope, right? And they didn't want anything to do with me. Okay, so that was like suddenly, suddenly there was like, I don't know, even though I had like a really easy coming out, I do think I have like a really good idea of what it's like for people who don't have an easy coming out because their environment is not supportive of it. Because I did at a later point in life had to deal with my entire surroundings not being supportive of me either. Um, but I wouldn't say like to really stay on top of your question. I wouldn't say that I regret coming out in any way.
Okay. Davey, I kind of want you to give like, I don't know. You're a very interesting person. Don't mean that in a bad way, I swear. Um, but I want to get to know you a little bit more. So can you give like possibly two or three things that people would be surprised to know about you?
I have to think about it for a second. um,
It's okay.
Related to what?
Just anything, really.
Like, really?
What's the biggest one you've ever taken?
Could be that stuff, whatever. I don't care. Just something everyone would be surprised to hear. So,
Shit. Okay, I got some. I got
okay.
some. Um, even though I'm bisexual, I've never dated a woman. In fact, I have zero female friends. Zero. None. Nada. Nopus. Okay? All of my friends are gay. And and everybody they introduce me to are also gay men. Like I'm totally enclosed in this what is this in this bubble, and I'm so fucking sick of it. I've been saying for years now that I want more female friends, but it's just not happening. For some reason, something's not working out. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I don't know. That really surprises me because I really like women. Women are so pretty and cool, you know. And like they have a totally different personality type than men do, and I want to get to know that. But apparently, that's not really working out. So that's one. So I wanted I wanted to be an actor. I did I graduated in the arts of theater and spoken word in high school, and then I also went to college to study it, right? And I failed college. Unfortunately, I failed college because I we didn't discover I had like ADHD until after I had to drop out after 4 years of college because I couldn't keep up with it. And it was only after that that I started taking medication for it, which helped a lot, but it was too late. So that's really unfortunate. But I really liked doing theater. I really liked studying theater. Um, it was great, honestly. It's just I don't know. I failed.
This is the one I would like to think is the most important question because it's the reason why I'm doing all this and the reason why I even considered this whole coming out interview series. But what advice would you give someone who is struggling to come out and be open with who they are?
Right. Um, I think this is really important. Don't come out until you think it is safe to do so. Especially if you still live with your family and you are dependent on them, financially, for example. Like imagine you're still a teenager, you still live with your family. There's nowhere else. Like it's not easy for you to go anywhere else. And you don't feel safe. Don't come out. Wait. Because it, I hear a lot of stories of how it can go wrong. I would hate for that to happen to whoever's watching this, to literally anybody. But I also like, in contrast, once you have reached adulthood, and even if you don't feel safe then, but you do want to come out, I urge you to put in the work to make it safe to come out. So, for example, by trying to move away from, if you live with your parents and they are homophobic, like move away from them as soon as possible, because you are not getting your years back that you are in the closets. And you might be missing out on a lot, and constantly having to hide everything from everybody. That can be really stressful for a lot of people. I really think that you will always tell yourself, "Oh, I wish I did this sooner." And you don't want to be, you don't want to have, you don't want to end up having to tell yourself that all day. Like, oh, I wish I did it sooner. I wish I did it sooner. Do things as soon as possible. Okay, but if it's not safe, then it's not possible.